Morning, friends. This is the course. Welcome to this course for manufacturing technology, second unit, first and lecture 5, metal cutting operation. I present in this video for in very detail all the parts. Agenda for today present in this video the machine of the orthogonal metal cutting, assumptions and friction, the shear angle and its the relevance, the cutting of the cutting force of the geometry. This geometry is the main part of the merchant circle diagrams present. This is the variation for the relation among for the merchant circle relation. Experimentally, if the chief thickness ratio R could be determined by the assuming the average thickness of the chief produced under given conditions for the feed and speed. However, the direct measurement of chip thickness is difficult and because the roughness of the outside of the chip for this purpose of indirect measurement is followed where in the length of the chip is tc and this is the chip thickness is the tc okay, and the relevant is the t known as the length of the uncut chip thickness is t measure to the consider of the fact that the depth beginning sum of the average chip thickness tc could be the given by the where one is the length of the uncut chip. Consider for one the exact size of uncut chip thickness is 1 and may be introduced for small of the filer or to the 1 is equal to pi d. Okay, so d is the diameter of the workpiece. Okay, d is the diameter of the workpiece. The merchant circle is the various relations present for the chip velocity is Vc is the velocity of the chip relative to the tools and direction for along the tools face. Okay. The shear velocity Vs is the velocity of the chip relative to work piece and direct among for the shear plane. The two velocities among for the cutting velocity V would be the close for angle as the this is the angle this is the angle is the this is present for angle phi okay, and this angle is also this is angle is the alpha, this is right angle over okay. So and this is the also given for the alpha vc is the cut thickness cut velocity of the cut thickness and this is angle. The angle of the phi is the alpha minus phi. This is angle is phi. This angle is alpha minus phi. This velocity v and vs is the shear velocity of the. So v this value is v. So v equal to क्या होगा? This apply for the Lamy theorem. Okay. The Lamy theorem is said to be say that for v is the v is phi take for the portion v velocity v is the v upon the sine 90 minus this angle is the 90 minus phi minus alpha, this is angle phi minus alpha okay. Of take for the shear velocity this is angle is 90 and this angle is alpha, so this is as the v is the sine 90 minus alpha and the take for the this is portion for the vc is the this angle is phi, so then angle is the क्या होगा तो vc upon sine phi okay. For take for the two terms of taken the vc is the this is the two one is the and other is two, take for the two parts the vc upon v this is the alpha phi minus alpha is angle for the So phi minus alpha. Okay, this angle. The V take for the this portions, this and this the cross multiplication, the multiply for the phi, the v sin phi upon the this is the cos phi minus alpha. Okay, the vs, find the value of vs is equal to take for the this is terms for the cos phi minus alpha given for the value, and vs upon sin 90 minus alpha क्या होगा cos alpha. Okay, so this is a cos multiplication. The v vs cos phi minus alpha, and this is multiplication is v, the sin 90 minus alpha cos alpha, so v cos alpha. Okay, given for the v cos alpha. The merchant circle is continue present for this value for shear strain. We take to help of the persistence for model as shown in figure. Shear strain phi is the given. The this the shear strain is the change of stress upon change of yield state A B. This is present for the A and B. This is angle A B C. Okay, phi is the cos alpha. This cos alpha upon sin phi cos alpha cos phi minus alpha vs upon v sin phi tan phi plus cot phi minus alpha. Delta phi is the thickness of the deformation zone. T is the time of the achieve the final value of strain. Delta y is considered for the mean value of the specific frequency of the slip plane. And the shear strain rate is given for the shear strain upon the shear stress for the Vs upon Vy. The Vs is the cos alpha upon sin cos alpha minus phi minus alpha. So the given value is the V upon delta V, delta shear strain. Take to further done of the work. Find is the work of the force. F equal to horizontal force into velocity. तो वर्क इक्वल टू क्या होता है फोर्स इंटू डिस्टेंस फोर्स हो गया एफ एस इंटू वी डिस्टेंस कंसिडर फॉर द डिस्टेंस वी ओके तो डब्ल्यू इक्वल टू क्या horizontal force into v वर्क फोर्स द वर्क डन इज द shear अब shear वर्क डन निकालना है तो shear फोर्स तो डब्ल्यू एस सी एफ वर्क इक्वल टू shear force into the shear velocity. Okay, and similarly for the friction force friction work निकालना है this is the friction work the friction force into cutting velocity. Okay, this is the so the whole of the area of the total work the work equal to shear work plus and work done. Okay, friction work add for the total work. Okay, the merchant circuit for also for the continue the efficiency of the metal cutting operation for necessary to the we have parameter for which does not depend on the cutting force parameters. The specific cutting velocity is the also perpendicular to which can be obtained by driving of total work for this metal removal process. The material removal rate is the MRR, metal removal ratio. The VBT upon the VBT total for the VBT is present. The US is the and this is the FSH upon the metal removal process. The tau, the CI stick cos beta minus alpha upon sine phi in cos phi plus beta minus alpha this present. Okay. The solution for the numerical value a bar of the 75 diameter is reduced to the 73 by the cutting tools while the cutting orthogonal if the mean length of the cut chip is the 73.5 find the cutting ratio if the rack angle is 15 degree what is the shear angle the length of the kerchief thickness is the 5 and the total of the thickness 5 plus 73 plus 2. This is the length thickness of the unkerchief thickness. The cutting ratio is the cut chip thickness upon the chip thickness is the TC upon T equal to TC is the value present for the this is the total value for the cutting of the velocity field 73.9 upon this is the length of uncut chip thickness is this is value for the R is equal to 0.3179. Okay, so shear angles is the this is a formula for the phi is the 10 inverse r cos alpha upon 1 minus r sin alpha. This value put in the r value is also put in this and angle is the 15. This value is 5. The shear angle is phi is the 10 inverse is the 0.3346. This given value for the phi is the 90 degree. 19 degree. Okay. Other problem is fine for the other in the orthogonal cutting test with the tools of the rack angle alpha is the 10 degree follow for the observation value were made of the chip thickness ratio r value given for the 0.33 horizontal component of the cutting forces is the AFS 9 12 12 90 Newton. Vertical component of the cutting forces is the 1650 Newtons. The merchant theory is the calculate for the various component of the shear force and the coefficient of friction is the chief tool of the surface. Merchant circle and various relation for the this r is the value given for the 0.3 alpha is the 10 degree the shear angle is the phi equal to r cos alpha upon r the present for the shear angle of the this is the shear angle find out the question this is the put for the value r 0.3 cos 10 upon 1 minus 0.3 is the sin 10 this value is also given okay and the shear angle is phi for the 10 inverse the value is put for the angle is given the fs is the this is given value for other the friction force along the rack face is the fs is the sin alpha plus f is the cos alpha the value put in this equation 9 okay the value put is the given value for the normal force of the rack rack face n equal to fs cos alpha minus fv sin alpha. This value put is the given value for this and up the coefficient of friction mu at the chip tool interface for the given mu equal to f1 n f given for the value f is equal to n and this value put for the n this is the relation mu. Coefficient of friction 1.4, 1.8792. Okay. The friction angle is beta is given by the beta equal to formula for the 10 inverse mu. 10 inverse mu, this my mu is the value for given. This value for this. The beta equal to 62 degree. Okay. And the resultant force is also find out the r is the so r equal to f F square into the friction force F plus mm, and also for the normal reactions, both are given for the vertical force plus horizontal force का square under root में. Okay, this given value for this are resultant. Okay. Shear force arm for the shear plane is given for the Fs is the shear force is the horizontal. Fs is the horizontal force of the cos phi minus V. Vertical force is sin phi. So the value put is the given for the value of the friction force. Okay, Newton. And the normal force is of the shear plane. Find out the normal force. And this is the Fe cos phi. This Fe cos phi plus Fs is the sin phi. They put in the value for the Fe is the 1650 1550 for the cos given for value putting. The given is the Newton. The area of shear plane is given by the As is the Bt upon sin phi. The B is value also given. The T value is also this is value for the this is okay. To verify the shear angle from the relation suggest for the merchant circle, phi is the phi upon 4 minus 1 by 2 beta minus alpha equal to 5 by 4 minus 62 minus 10 by 10 per 90 degree. It can be sent for the actual value of the shear force angle is 5, and where for the value calculated for the shear angle relation for the merchant circle is the error for the 9.6676% for the value. Thank you so much. In this video, I present for the seer, the merchant circle, some of the relationship between some of terms is a merchant circle relations and the sum of normal the sign find of the two problems in this video. Okay, thank you so much.